The legendary UB40 rocked the stage in Rarotonga last night as part of their 40th anniversary tour. PMN News acting news editor Lisa Williams-Lahari caught up exclusively with Ali Campbell and Astro to talk about life and their love for reggae music.
Historic moment, Ali and Astro, you're both in the Cook Islands. How on earth did you go across the map and say, that's where I want to go?
Well, we've been trying to get here for years.
About 30 years, yeah. We've got a great friend that we met in the 80s, back in the 80s in New Zealand, called Sam Masters, and he's from Rarotonga, and he's been our security man for all this time, you know. And he's always just said, you've got to come to my island, you know, and we go, well, we will when we're asked, you know.
So it's all because of Sam Masters that UB40's here?
Oh, yeah, totally, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, and, I mean, when we first got to New Zealand, it was 1981, right?
Yeah.
And it was the Springbok and, you know, the apartheid thing in rugby. Demonstration was going on in Auckland, and we put our bags in the hotel and joined the demo. And then just met all these fabulous people that are our friends to this day. You know?
Herbs, that was the first band that we run into on that same,
So good memories.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and we've tried to get back sort of annually ever since, you know, and we've been here annually for the last 5 years, haven't we?
Yeah.
And we finish this tour in, we do some more Australian and New Zealand dates, and then to Hawaii for my birthday, and then back to England to start an arena tour, and then off to America after that.
And they say life begins at 40.
Yeah, well, yeah, or the 50's the new 40 or something like that. Yeah.
Or the new 30.
Well, we should be called UB50 by now, shouldn't we, really?
Well, that music is just so ageless. I mean, in terms of... Have you been shocked by, you know, just the way it's resonated and everyone captures you and says, you know, UB40?
Well... there's no sell-by date on good music for a start.
No.
And we were when we started the band, I started UB40 in 1979. You know, I was only 1 year old. No, but to promote reggae music, because I loved reggae music, but reggae was only about 11 years old at the time. You know, it came about in about 1968. Before that, it was rocksteady. Before that, it was ska. You know, we were too young for that. So we chose, as our genre, the youngest form of music in the world, you know, pop music if you like. And 40 years later, it still hasn't outlived its own cool, you know. And in fact, if you look at reggae in the charts in America with Pharrell Williams and Katy Perry and Ariana Grande and even Justin Bieber, they're all using reggae beats, or bogle beats, you know. So reggae, 40 years after we started playing it, is more... influential now than it's ever been, yeah. So that's why we're still here, I believe, you know, because we chose reggae, and reggae's universally loved. And
yeah, it is a universal music that everybody seems to relate to. You know, I mean, like most islanders adopt reggae as the music of the streets. I mean, like when we first started, if you'd talked about having a reggae band in Russia or Germany,
Norway,
Austria, you know, been laughed out of the place. But now you go back all over Europe, in fact, across the world, there's a reggae band in every single country. You know, I mean, that speaks volumes. Seeing as, you know, where it originated from, it was a very small island in the Caribbean, but to influence the entire globe, it's a phenomenon in itself.
And of course, Bob Marley had a lot.
Absolutely,
Bob
Marley.
A big hand to play in that, you know.
Yes. Look, when you're playing across the world and here in the Pacific, is there like a definitive sound or song from the collection that just lights up the crowd, depending on where you are? What is it for the Pacific?
Well, we had 40 top 20 hits in the 80s and 90s, you know, so we can rock up anywhere and people will know our stuff, you know. We're lucky for that. We played the Solomon Islands a couple of years ago, and we were greeted by these, you know, men from the hills with, you know, bones through their nose and feathers in their hair, and they were naked, they had blowpipes and bows and arrows, and they greeted us at the plane. Stone Age men, basically. And then we followed them back to the airport, and they whipped out their panpipes and started playing UB40 tunes, you know. We were going, what's happened there, you know? These people were from Backabush, you know, and there they were playing Food for Thought, and But here in the South Pacific, we had just the same hits as we did, in Europe. So they're the songs that people respond to, generally.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter where you play in the world. People are people, and they react exactly the same, to music. If they're enjoying it, they dance the socks off. If they're not enjoying it, they go find the bar, use the lav.
And you seem to be the one band in the world that's actually taken someone's originals and made it even more popular than the original artist. How do you do that?
We called the album Labour of Love, and what they were the songs that we grew up listening to that made us fall in love with reggae, So it was a real labour of love, and we copied the songs that we grew up listening to.
And we knew that if people got to hear those songs, they would fall in love with them just the same way we did. And I think we've been vindicated.
Yeah, well, songs like Cherry O Baby and Many Rivers to Cross in the reggae world, they were smash hits, but of course the reggae world was tiny. And we knew that if we played those songs, to the bigger world, the wider world, that people would love them equally, and we were right, We sold 42 million Labour of Love albums,
So love is the X factor.
Yeah.
Absolutely, love and reggae. That's the combination. Big love and reggae music.
What do you love about the Cook Islands so far, taking you into
Just
tonight?
everything that's happened to us.
It doesn't matter where you open your eyes and look at, it's just paradise.
Well, it was 10 degrees below in Birmingham when we left,
So that's why we've got a permanent smile on our faces.
And we just found out it's snowing in London.
Ouch!
So, it makes us feel, very lucky.
So the Cooks, of course, the milestone 40th anniversary. You will be coming back to the Pacific?
Yeah, try and stop us.
Yeah.
Well, as I say, we have to just be invited. We can't just decide we want to go here and there. We need somebody to actually say, do you want to come here? And then,
so there are a lot of listeners right now from the Pacific and New Zealand saying, where to next? We want to start booking our tickets.
Well, you can go online at UB40.nz.
and you'll find all the information there.
Gold Coast, Perth,
Dunsborough,
Nelson,
Christchurch,
Christchurch.
North and Sydney, Gosford.
There you go.
All
Gosford.
right, so a bit of back and forth across the Tassie then. Coming up.
Yeah, but that's okay. We travel a lot. We've been doing it for a while, so we're accustomed to.
We've got our sea legs.
Yeah. Look, with all the hits you've had, is there one that has a very special place in your hearts?
No. The thing is, especially when you're writing, we've made sort of 30 albums now, and only 3 of those were cover albums, with 4 with the new one, with the Real Labour of Love, that went in at number 2 last year in the charts,
Yep.
So the stuff that the other 20 odd albums that we've written, they're like your babies. You don't have a favourite baby, right?
That's right. Love them all. Love them
it's
all.
just like trying to say, which child don't you like? Or which is your favourite child? You love them all because it's something that you've produced, and you're always going to be proud of what you've done. You know what I mean? And it's just like each time you record an album, whatever you've just done, that's your favourite at the moment, because you just want everybody to hear it. You know what I mean? But so it just changes from album to album with me. So it's really hard to say, which is your favourite of all time.
A lot of our hits came from the Labour of Love collection. And when people say, do you get tired of playing Red Red Wine or, Kingston Town? No. Well, we loved them in the first place. That's why we covered them on Labour of Love, So we never get tired of playing them. And they're the songs that generally, if we didn't play them, we'd have bottles thrown at us, So we always do Red Red
and even
Wine.
if you do feel jaded, you've only got to look out at the crowd when we're singing Red Red Wine, and straight away you go, that's why we love this song.
Yeah. That's why you're here. So are there, most musos or the humans would say, I'm going to stop having children now and retire and enjoy looking at them. But it looks like you're going to keep having these beautiful babies until you stop singing.
Until we can't have babies anymore.
Yeah. Well, we've got nothing else to do, and it's a little bit too late in our lives for a career change. It's too late to
this
become
is all we've done since we've been adults. We took our social circle from, I suppose, what you'd call the wrong side of the tracks in Birmingham, and
took it around the globe.
Took it around the world, and we've been doing it, literally 40 years coming up now, which is frightening and shocking, but it's the truth.
Ali and Astro, thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure.
The legendary UB40, Ali Campbell and Astro speaking with PMN acting news editor Lisa Williams-Lahari in the Cook Islands last night.